Welcome, hackers. Today we're going to take a look at the changes to poisons in 2024. Spoilers, there are very few changes. However, the changes that are there tell a little bit of a story. But before we talk about the changes, let's take a look at how poisons work. Poisons come in 4 types. Contact poison can be smeared on an object and remains potent until it is touched or washed off. A creature that touches contact poison with exposed skin suffers its effects. Ingested poison, a creature must swallow an entire dose of ingested poison to suffer its effects. The dose can be delivered in food or liquid. You may decide that a partial dose has a reduced effect, such as allowing advantage on the saving throw or only dealing half as much damage on a failed save. Inhaled poisons, poisonous powders and gases take effect when inhaled. Blowing the powder or releasing the gas subjects the creature in a 5-foot cube to the effect. The resulting cloud dissipates immediately afterward. Holding one's breath is ineffective against inhaled poisons as they affect nasal membranes, tear ducts, and other parts of the body. Injury poison can be applied as a bonus action to a weapon, a piece of ammunition, or a similar object. The poison remains potent until delivered through a wound or washed off. A creature that takes piercing or slashing damage from an object coated with the poison is exposed to its effects. So how do we get poisons? Well, there's a couple ways. First, you can purchase poisons. In some settings, laws prohibit the possession and use of poison, but a nefarious type might keep a hidden stash. Characters with criminal contacts might be able to acquire poison easily. Other characters might have a much harder time finding it. Next, you could harvest poisons. A character can attempt to harvest poison from a venomous creature that is dead or has the incapacitated condition. The effort takes 1d6 minutes, after which the character makes a DC 20 intelligence nature check using a poisoner's kit. On a successful check, the character harvests enough poison for a single dose, and no additional poison can be harvested from that creature. On a failed check, the character is unable to extract any poison. If the character fails the check by 5 or more, the character is subjected to the creature's poison. I've always found poisons to be too expensive to be a viable strategy for players. The cheapest one is Assassin's Blood. It costs 150 gold pieces for only 1 use. It does only 6 average damage on a failed save or 3 on a success. It does cause the poisoned condition, but the saving throw is a pretty easy 10 Constitution save. More often than not, you will use your bonus action and 150 gold and only do 3 damage. Hunter's Mark is a much maligned spell that is more effective and costs you no gold. But how about the most expensive one? Surely it's useful. Purple Worm Poison will cost you a hefty 2 grand. It does have a big DC 21 Constitution save, but it only does 35 damage on a failure and 17 on a successful save. 35 damage for 2 grand is not cost effective as far as I'm concerned. Let me know in the comments if you think either of these poisons or perhaps a different poison are any good. Now, there is one way to get these poisons without spending money. One is several rooms in the Bastion system, which we made a video about tagged above. This is new to 2024, so it is a little bit of a boost to poisons in the new version of the game. You can have your hirelings in the greenhouse and the laboratory craft certain kinds of poisons, but you still have to pay half the normal cost. Saves you a little bit of gold, but it still seems pretty expensive to me. I mentioned earlier that a couple of poisons have changed. The Wyvern poison had the DC change from 15 to 14, making it a little bit easier to save. The other change is to the Purple Worm poison. The DC became 2 harder, but the damage went down 12%. In the 2014 version of the game, we can see that the poison is exactly the same as the monster stat blocks. So this would give us a small glimpse into the changes to monsters in 2024. All we can do is guess at stuff because the new monster manual still won't be available for about 3 months, but this shows us that some of the damage and DCs of the monsters are actually getting changed. We have had a few creatures made available, like the beasts in the back of the player's handbook, and we take a look at those in a video that you can also see at the top of the screen. Interestingly, the Wyvern was made slightly less dangerous by changing the DC, but not by much. We will have to wait and see what else changes. What is really weird to me is upping the DC of the purple worm poison, but lowering the damage. Probably not a complete wash, but I'm not sure how to calculate the average damage with the changes to the save and the damage. Let me know in the comments how you would compare the two different versions of the purple worm poison. Is it better now? Is it worse? And to see more monster comparisons, check out this video, and remember to keep on hacking the dungeon.